One of the things we all know about the Washington media is that they don't report everything they know, but often there are rumors that circulate among them that they cannot put in the newspaper because they don't want to burn their bosses, their Democrat sources. What we understand is that Chuck Schumer drove himself, or was driven, to Delaware to have a personal one-on-one meeting with Joe Biden to make his appeal that Biden should not be the nominee. They're trying to steal the nomination from this old man.
Arm wrestle it away. And it apparently didn't go over well.
It didn't. Josh has the details on the meeting.
What a shock.
Yeah, well, I mean, so, look, I think knowing Schumer, I speculate what he does, but I'm sure that he had poll numbers and all kinds of things indicating it was a huge problem for the party down ballot, obviously.
And this is the moment, right? Biden said, I'll resign if somebody shows me that I can't win. So he goes in with polls.
So I think he took advantage of it and had this conversation, ultimately didn't get the answer that he wanted. When he came out of the meeting, he said, good meeting. Which to me immediately was a huge sign, right? If you're meeting with the nominee of your party 100 days before an election and you don't say, I fully support Joe Biden.
And you know he's twisting in the wind.
Yeah, I fully support him. Our conference supports him. We can't wait to vote for him in November. Something short of that indicates there's something else that happened. And then what we found out when we got to Milwaukee, it's the worst kept secret. Every single journalist, whether it's, you name the publication, we've talked to him over the last few days. Every single person knows exactly what happened, but they asked Chuck Schumer, and it's a one-on-one meeting, and he denies it. Mm-hmm. So they're not reporting.
Well, I mean, obviously he's spoken, and so is Biden to others, and that's how these reporters get it. And they always report things that you don't get from the direct source. So this is kind of sketchy to me. Like there's a reason they're not.
Well, it's about a Democrat, Megyn.
Yeah. But now the press is turned on him.
Yeah, it's true.
So they want this out probably.
And so the interesting thing is, as soon as we bring this up, I check my Twitter after we put it out there. And Schumer's press secretary starts following me.
Yeah, and he's not a huge fan, not a known fan of country.
I appreciate him. I appreciate him confirming that. Be like, well, I got to keep an eye on these guys because somehow they hear it.
Maybe he wants to DM you something exciting.
Be like, hey, can you please get this guy off the ballot? We don't know how to do it.
Well, speaking of that, I checked Drudge before we came to air, and the headlines are Adam Schiff warning big Democrat losses if Biden stays on the ballot, and then they're citing this poll by Blue Labs Analysis, I guess is a Democrat pollster firm. Mm-hmm. They had tipped Jonathan Martin of Politico, which is where the article was from, just showing that every single other possible candidate outperforms Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Every single one of them.
Every one of them.
You name it.
It's not hard to come to that conclusion. I mean, there's an AP poll out today that stunned me because it shows 2/3 of Democrats want their nominee to not be the nominee right now. That is an astounding. We're 100 days out. This is the Republican National Convention. Yes. We're just weeks away from a Democrat National Convention. Not only are they not unified behind an incumbent president of the United States, they're actively trying to push him out in the waning days before they actually are stuck with him.
Right now they have till August 7th, unless they move that online vote, right? They moved their nomination process up to a virtual thing on August 7th because of some weird Ohio rule. But then the Ohio rule got changed so they don't have to do it on August 7th.
Yeah.
And all these House Dems are saying, then don't.
I mean, that's the incredible thing is, again, you've got the head of the DNC fighting with progressive activists saying that, our hands are tied. And everyone is telling him, look, we know you're lying to us. This is not the case. You can still replace him. And he's like, well, here's what we're going to do is we're going to secretly online just make him the nominee. Yeah. That's how democracy is saved.
Right. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
But, it is funny. I was saying this last week, but it's like the Republicans, the MAGA supporters, are completely aligned with the Joe Biden diehards.
Yeah.
Democracy. You chose him.
There it is.
It's very wrong to deprive his voters of their vote, right?
I think there is more support in this convention hall for Joe Biden than there will be in Chicago. I think that's a safe assumption.
Did you guys notice last night and a little bit on Monday too? I heard Kamala Harris's name a lot more than I would expect to. Like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's policies. They keep they're hedging.
They're smart.
They know she might be coming.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan, we've talked about this. This is like something that somewhere along the way you get the impression that they're going to have to do something drastic or they're going to lose by a lot here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but
is it Duncan or is it J.D. Vance?
It's J.D. This week it's J.D.
All right.
It's Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark. Yeah. But if you've noticed, like after the shooting on Saturday, the White House put out a bunch of photos of Joe Biden meeting with security, intel, all of these. And Kamala Harris was in all of those photos, sitting next to him, which is sort of rare in those situations.
And unnecessary.
Yeah.
You saw him say, when he was asked about Kamala Harris in this one interview, like, was it Lester? I can't remember who it was. He's done a few lately. And he was like, yeah, she the reason I made her my vice president, she could be president. She would be great president. Like, he's starting to allow a little window there.
I know.
But you mentioned Saturday night. I wanted to show you this. It's been on my mind. We saw President Trump now in this famous moment, right, with the blood and the fight.
Iconic.
And that night, when Joe Biden flew back to D.C. from his weekend vacation home, there was this moment on CNN when he walked up the stairs of Air Force One. I want to show it to you. Look at this. He looked so feeble, guys. Just look at it. Just watch this.
Oh. Man, it's just.
And watch him. Watch it. It's like you're like, oh God, don't.
You don't hit your head.
Careful.
Yeah, don't.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, the steps.
And the split screen, right? It's like, this is what America's feeling, like in their heart and their gut. No matter what these I don't care about.
No, it's the story of the election, Megyn. It's a contrast between the weakness we have in the White House right now, or the strength that a real commander-in-chief is projecting at this convention this week. What Donald Trump did Saturday when he raised his fist and he told people to fight was he sent a message not just to our country but to the entire world that he is back, that America is back. And all of a sudden, I'm sure you noticed this, I know we noticed this, more and more people, these suburban voters, they are slowly coming out and saying, you know what, Trump's doing the right thing.
Might be the right guy at the right time. Right. I mean, we talked a lot about this the last couple of days, and like, regardless of what you thought about Trump for the last 8 years, when you look at what happened on Saturday and you look at the contrast, as John just said, of strength both in policy and how you run a country in a White House, and the sort of feeling that you have as an American was just sort of iconically embodied by that moment when he raised his fist and said, fight, 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 with blood dripping down his face. And now is the time. Right? Now is the time. We didn't know how depressed we actually were.
Yeah.
Until we saw somebody just want to fight for us. And that was a moment that you just crossed party lines.
Yeah.
Huge amount of people beginning to entertain the unthinkable for them.
You see him in a different light.
That's
You
exactly-
just,
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
the guy who did all the controversial stuff had to be that way because he's that way.
Yeah.
Like they go together.
That's right.
It's just, you can't get one without the other. And we really want that one. We need that one. That's why after Afghanistan, a lot of us were saying, there's just no way President Trump would have allowed this. Even though he proposed the Afghanistan withdrawal plan, you knew in your gut he wouldn't have allowed it to go that badly, give up Bagram Air Force Base, because he is such a fighter. When things start going south, his instinct is to fight harder, not to cave. Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over, along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers. Oh, great. The IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay or if you're on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.